Hello guys, it's Seastorm and welcome back to another speed paint. I was sitting in my room and I realized that a speed paint is the perfect opportunity for me to just rant about my OCs. And I thought that I was not utilizing this medium to its full potential, so here we are. Like I mentioned in my last video, which you should go watch, Sylvan, my OC, is low-key my favorite, and I just love to talk about him so much. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is another speed paint, actually an older piece than the speed paint than the art from the speed paint in my last video, but another work of Hort and Sylvan, Sylvan being my OC and Hort being a canon character from the book series The School for Good and Evil. And this piece is actually hopefully going to be featured in an animatic that I make of them at some point. At some point, emphasis on the at some point. And I just wanted to talk about Sylvan. So this is that. This is me talking about him. Buckle up. So I made him in, I'm just going to say I made him in 2022. Because that's what I think I made him in, and I'm not sure. So we're just going to call it 2022. And I kind of fell in love with him almost immediately. I'd never drawn a character so much in a short span of time as much as I drew Sylvan in like the month after I created him. I drew like 4 full bodies within like 2 weeks, and that was kind of insane. Not like insane that I drew 4 full bodies, but it was those full bodies were only of him. I didn't do anything. Like I just drew Sylvan. And it kind of still like that. Like I draw my other characters, but it's like Sylvan is the star of the show. And in my AU, like in my alternate universe where Sylvan is a part of the canon, he isn't ever, and he arrives at the school at the same year as all of the other canon characters, and he immediately befriends Tristan. And this ends up being low-key problematic. They get along because their personalities kind of click. And in I'm just going to call it the War of the Sexes, because low-key that's what happens in book 2. But in book 2, with boys versus girls, and spoilers, by the way, spoilers for the book series. Go read the book series. Go read the book series. Now, spoilers. So, in book 2, Tristan ends up sneaking off to the school for girls, even though he is a boy. And this is because he is using a potion to disguise himself as a girl to be on the side of the girls. And Sylvan notices that he's been gone, but doesn't know where he has been going to. And after he ends up, after Tristan becomes Yara and she ends up dying in the trial by Tale, Sylvan is devastated, feeling like that he should have been able to help, that it was sort of his responsibility as Tristan's friend to save him, but that doesn't end up happening, and Sylvan kind of carries that grief around a little bit. But honestly, he ends up sort of accepting that it wasn't his fault. But that's just a little tidbit of the first year. Also, what happens in his first year is during like I'm just gonna call it the introduction ceremony, when all of the Everboys waltz into the theater and like they throw their roses at like their favorite chicks. In my mind, first of all, Rena I think is the prettiest ever. And so that's who I chose for Sylvan to throw his rose to. So he walks in the room, like all of the other girls are like, "Oh my god, bro, that's like Belle's son, right?" You know, like, okay. You guys just lock in, okay? This isn't gonna make sense, but if you just lock in, maybe it will, okay? I believe in you. I'm counting on your guys' ability to decode what I'm saying. And hopefully that you read the books, because this might not make any sense if you didn't. Okay, so he walks in, all the girls are like, "Oh my god, he's so cute, like, he's so fine." Like, what they did for Tedros, right? Because I can do anything, and I'm gonna indulge myself, right? So, they're like so excited that he's here, and then he throws his rose to Rena, right? He like looks over to the side, makes eye contact with Hort, winks, and walks away. Like, aura, right? Okay. I'm cooking. Bro, this is so bad. Again, I do this in one recording. There is no script. There is no re-records. I like barely ever cut anything out. This is what you get. This is the final product. Okay. That's Hort and Sylvan's first meeting. Like, Sylvan walks into the theater, sees Hort, is like, "Oh my god, that's my man," throws his rose to Rena, winks, and walks away, right? And I think in this entire situation, 14 or 15-year-old Sylvan is low-key panicking on the inside, like, oh my god, what did I just do? Like, freaking out. But he's like, no, no, it's okay, chill. It's okay, chill. That's what he's thinking. He's like, okay, that was low-key insane, but he was like, it's fine, it'll be fine, right? So he walks out, and the next time that him and Hort meet is during lunch. I'm thinking maybe like the same day or the day after. But they meet at lunch, and also I bend the rules for my AU where Sylvan is a part of the canon because there are certain parts of it that I wanted to change, like the fact that like the Evers and the Nevers actually don't eat lunch together, really, but I wanted to change that because I can't. So anyway, um, Sylvan goes up to Hort and is like, "Hey, do you want to eat lunch with me?" And because all the Nevers get crappy, boo boo, like prison food, Hort is like, "Well, damn, yes." So they eat lunch together, and Hort is low key like, "Okay, why is this pretty boy ever trying to be friends with me?" You know what I mean? Like he's low key. We're like two different people. That's what Hort's thinking. He's like, "This doesn't make any sense. Like, what is happening, right?" And I'm pretty sure that, like, I'm thinking that all of the Evers are kind of like side-eyeing Sylvan right now, like, why are you talking to the ugly little weasel boy? um but they honestly kind of forgive him for it and ignore the fact that Sylvan is low-key obsessed with Hort because he's French and pretty, like, you know what I mean, and like he's charismatic, so they're just like, whatever, it's fine, we're just gonna turn a blind eye, like, as the years go on, like as the year goes on or whatever. And then like near like the middle or the end of the story, they've all just accepted it. They're like, okay, whatever, you know. um and then okay, I need to collect my thoughts, hold on. This is another little tidbit that I've like imagined happening that I think would actually be like so cute and so fun. Not fun because it's kind of like a sad, like embarrassing moment for Hort, but I just think it would be cute for the two of them as a duo, right? But like, you know that scene like at the No Ball and Sophie is using Hort as like a prop to welcome all of like the hot Ever boys into the ball, right? I imagine that when Hort inevitably transforms back into his human self and he just like ends up naked, he runs. This is just like it's been years since I read the book, so if some of this isn't actually what happened in canon, or like I'm misremembering things, just like cut me a break. Okay, it's been like 4 years now. Anyway, so Hort runs out of the ball, and Sylvan is like waiting there for him, like with a change of clothes, because Sylvan is just that caring and, you know, like that considerate. And so he's like, I know what's going on, like I know what's gonna happen, I'll be ready. If you're gonna let Sophie bully you like this, then I'm gonna be right there by your side to like pick you back up when you fall down. And like Hort is just like grateful and whatever, but like it's just like, you know, like Sylvan's always gonna be there for Hort. And that's like one of my favorite things about their duo, is that like it's like the years of Hort not fully acknowledging everything that Sylvan has done for him, and Sylvan completely doing it, not expecting any acknowledgement in return until he finally does. And it's like being touched by God, you know what I mean? Like okay, so if you can't already tell by me telling you about it at the very beginning, he is my favorite. Stay tuned for the next one where I go on about more of the fake lore I made up. Love you guys, bye. Editing Seastorm here. Stay tuned for the next one where I continue to ramble about my favorite OCs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.